Ah, crap. Hello everyone, Toaster here, and welcome back to Satisfactory, one of my favorite games ever. We're starting fresh here, a brand new playthrough on a brand new save, on the full release version of the game, version 1.1 now. I'm super excited to check out all of the new things that have been added, including but not limited to, the latest upgrade tiers in the hub, the final space elevator projects, and the cutesy little story that plays out in the background. Is the Fix-It Corporation a force of good in the universe who's fighting to save humanity? Or are they just another bunch of evil, abusive corporate overlords with an ulterior motive? Let's find out together, and no spoilers please, because I am going in blind. I have massive plans for this playthrough. Will I be able to be efficient and fully flesh things out as per Fix-It standards? Or will I regress into my usual good enough is good enough habits? Will this series even be, dare I say, half finished? Join me on this new adventure, and together, let's create something amazing. First things first, we're dropping in hot and going planet-side on Massage 2ABB in Satisfactory.
Fix-It. Short-term solutions to long-term problems.
We play as a pioneer employee of the Fix-It Corporation. We're being dropped onto this planet, Massage 2ABB, to help fulfill Fix-It's Save the Day program by exploiting the planet, collecting resources, and contributing to the space elevator project. We're doing all this to save humanity. And that's it. That's all the context that we get right now. But I'm sure we'll discover more as we progress through the game.
Activating retro propulsion. Touchdown. Pioneer. Acceptable.
Acceptable. Ah, it feels good to be back.
Congratulations, you are the third in your region to survive planetfall. Welcome to Massage 2, ABB, in the binary system of Akicha.
I've chosen the Northern Forest biome as my spawn point for this playthrough, merely because of convenience. You see, the Northern Forest is the most central starting location that's offered, meaning that we're spared the inconsiderable nuisance of starting at the edges of the map and having to walk a few extra feet inland when I inevitably relocate my base. And that's it. Just laziness.
What the fuck?
Also, it looks cool. Moving on, I'm excited to see all the new things in the game and get the full Fix-It experience. So I opted to do the Fix-It Pioneer onboarding program tutorial thingy. Also, it's been a while and I forgot how to play. So as per Ada's instructions, also known as the Artificial Directory and Assistant, our little AI narrator, I donned my Xenozapper to prepare myself in dealing with the local fauna. And I dismantled the drop pod, which will get repurposed in but a brief moment. Because Fix-It does not waste.
We do not waste.
I scanned for iron and made my way to our first set of resource nodes where I encountered our first foe, which I believe is called... Come here, you bushy-tailed bitch. Close enough. After dispatching our fluffy-tailed foe and a few of his friends, I proceeded to clear off the resource node of the protruding rock and help myself to a handful of iron ore, whilst also mocking my employer in the process.
Fix-It does not pay by the kilometer.
Fix-It doesn't pay by the kilometer. Shut up. I also collected a weird bacon-looking mushroom and some pale berries, and was subsequently reminded of my absurd corporate contract and its accompanied liabilities.
By Fix-It, the consumer is responsible for any and all consequences.
Geez, I hope Fix-It offers a good health insurance plan. Maybe I shouldn't mock my employer. Now I utilize the recycled drop pod parts to build the foundation of the hub. It doesn't look like much now, but this will be the center of our operation. A place to eat, sleep, shit. In order to progress in this game, we need to feed the hub and the space elevator, which we'll unlock later, certain resources to unlock upgrades and tiers. As of update 1.1, there are 9 tiers. Each tier contains several hub upgrades. If we opt to do the tutorial onboarding process like I'm doing now, then there's a 10th tier, Tier 0. Simply, we just need to collect resources, manufacture parts, and feed it into the hub to unlock the relevant hub upgrade in order to complete the tutorial. I'll explain more about the progression process later, along with the space elevator after we finish the tutorial part of the game, but for now, I hammered away some iron ore at my crafting bench to make iron ingots, which I will then turn into some iron rods and iron plates, some of the most basic craftable parts in the game. I used some of these resources to unlock the aforementioned first hub upgrade that unlocks the workshop. The workshop is a key structure that allows me to build personal equipment for my own use, so I was sure to place one down. First up, the portable miner. The portable miner. This bad boy here runs on hopes and dreams. It's pretty much useless after the tutorial section. It's pretty cool. It automatically mines ores from resource nodes, but it can only hold up to 100 ores and we can't connect a conveyor belt to it, so we're forced to check up on it frequently to collect our spoils. Not efficient at all. After handcrafting some more iron plates and rods, I've fulfilled the next hub upgrade and checked out the barren interior of my almost completed home. Photosynthesis! With this next hub upgrade, we unlock access to new parts that require copper as part of the recipe. So predictably, I went out on the hunt for this no doubt elusive resource. No way. What? Only to be surprised that the tutorial area contained the tutorial resource that I needed to complete the tutorial. It wasn't long after this that I stumbled upon a pleasant surprise. Doggo! The fabled lizard doggo. A friend most... Fuchsia? I hastily grabbed a handful of pale berries that I grabbed earlier and dropped them at the base of my feet. This beautiful beast could not resist, and it lapped them up right before me. That's all it took for Doggo to become friend. For now, Doggo will retain his birth name, Doggo with long name. Lizard doggos are great as they randomly collect different resources that we can snag and use to our benefit, and we actually get to reap these rewards a little later right here in this video. One issue with Doggo right now is that he follows me around everywhere, which can be a problem because if I go out exploring and we get separated, I could lose him forever. So now I made it a priority to build him a enclosure. But first, I hammered away some copper ore to make some ingots, which I then turned into our first basic copper resource, copper wire. I submitted that along with some iron resources into the hub and unlocked the next hub upgrade. With this, we unlocked a bit of lore from Ada that shows that pioneers in this universe are actually human, and not clones or robots, which is pretty cool.
We understand that Fix-It pioneers are only human, and thus prone to error.
Then I took a gander inside the hub again to see that it has some more furnishings. I can interact with the invisible coffee machine. I checked out the highly anticipated toilet flushing DLC, which was finally released. I accidentally dropped some leaves into it, which I wasn't supposed to do, but the sign that tells me not to do it is also invisible.
Did you not see the sign?
And then I messed around with the character customizer, which is kinda cool, but I was also a bit disappointed in it. I found it limiting. But I settled on a design, put the Fix-It logo on my RGB build gun, and got back to work. Did you know that the Fix-It logo is called Check It? I call him Felipe. I scolded my doggo. Lizard doggo with a long name, have you found anything? You have not. Useless. Then I started laying down some smelters and constructors with our help from our doggo friend. Get out of the way, doggo. Get out of the way, doggo! Alright, yeah, so you're actually going to determine... Get out of the way! Another reason to make getting our pal into a pen our priority. These buildings are our first factory buildings. These smelters will allow us to convert iron and copper ores into ingots, and these constructors will allow us to convert those ingots into finished products like iron plates, iron rods, and copper wire. We haven't unlocked conveyor belts or fully autonomous miners yet, so we have to feed everything manually for now. Next up, limestone. This tutorial resource that's also located in the tutorial section of the tutorial will allow us to convert raw limestone into concrete, a resource useful in building foundations, walls, and other structures like utility poles. Utility poles is one of the 3 key things that will allow us to connect our factory buildings to a power grid. The second things are cables, which I crafted in abundance from copper wire, and the last thing is, of course, a power source. With one of our previous hub upgrades, we unlocked a single biomass burner located behind the hub. I hooked everything up to our grid, filled the generator with some leaves, yes leaves, which act as a biofuel, and was soon met with one of the most horrifying, gut-wrenching sounds I've ever heard in a video game, ever. Cue the counter. Initially, I was dumbfounded, but the problem was quite simple. This lone biomass burner only provides a maximum of 20 megawatts of power, and I had placed down way too many factory buildings. 3 smelters at 4 megawatts each, and 3 constructors also at 4 megawatts each, for a total of 24 megawatts, which surpassed our current 20 megawatt limit by just a smidge. So I temporarily disabled one of the smelters and constructors by removing any and all inputs from it. I reset the fuse, and we're back in business. We're now smelting and constructing some basic iron and copper resources, which I promptly fed into the hub and unlocked the next hub upgrade. This next upgrade came with the pleasure of hearing some disgruntled developers firing shots at noobs.
Portable miners, obviously, do not have a connection for conveyor belts. There is nothing to suggest, visually or functionally, that they can be connected to portable miners. If this is something you struggle with, do not worry. Fixit has alternative uses for all their pioneers.
This hub upgrade also came with the beloved conveyor belts. I wasted no time implementing this into the starter factory. After this, I checked out the interior of the hub again, which was now even more furnished. I played with the invisible, now non-invisible coffee machine, and the microwave. There were a lot of cool things to see. Unfortunately, I was interrupted by a sound that triggered my PTSD. Manufactured goods. Oh, there it is. Oh, I hate that sound. I expanded factory to produce cables and then collected the resources I needed to unlock the next hub upgrade, which includes a second biomass burner and the full-size miners. These are mucho importante, as we can connect these with conveyor belts, and it's the final piece of the puzzle that we need to make fully autonomous factories. And I did just that, placing down more full-size miners on my copper and iron nodes and connecting everything to my starter factory with conveyors. I had to take a quick break to take a look for my missing doggo. Doggo is MIA. I hear him. What are you doing up there now? You're ridiculous. But with the help of my now automated starter factory, I gathered enough materials to complete the final Tier 0 hub upgrade and complete my Fixit employee onboarding process, aka the tutorial.
Congratulations, you have completed onboarding and achieved the absolute minimum skill level required of a Fixit pioneer. Your first official objective is to initiate project assembly by building the space elevator.
My new main objective was to build the space elevator, and promptly. So naturally, I slacked off and played video games instead. A cutesy little packing game called Packer Deluxe. I sucked at it, so I stopped, and admired the Fixit fuck-up counter in the hub, and then got back to work. We've unlocked Tiers 1 and 2 in the hub, and had new upgrades to unlock. I turned my attention to Tier 1 and specifically to the base building upgrade, so I can complete my personal goal of securing Doggo, who generously gifted me with some explosives that I couldn't use because he also forgot to bring me the detonator. I started developing my limestone production line, but not before forgetting that I needed to fuel the biomass generators. I rushed over to them to stock them up with a fresh stack of leaves, but they ran out of fuel just before I could make it. Chalk another one up to the counter of shame. With the last tutorial upgrade, I unlocked the ability to make more biomass burners, of which I dropped down 2 so I could expand my starter factory. I then expanded my starter factory, making new production lines for additional resources. I now had lines for iron rods, iron plates, copper wire, cables, and concrete. I was then bothered by a noise and set out on a brief expedition. I thought it was this slug making the noise. Is it? But it wasn't. I snagged it up anyway, and made my way towards another sluggy boy I saw. We take. And I almost had my first Fixit fuck up. But by some miracle I survived, and got an achievement in the process. I also noticed this Caterium rock next to my base, so I chipped away at that too. It's basically gold, but we'll explore these resources more once we unlock the man. First, we need to secure Doggo, so I shipped off some resources in the hub and unlocked the base building upgrade. We can now build foundations and walls, So I built foundations and walls to secure Doggo with extra long names. You stay. Stay. No. Bad dog. Bad dog. Get back in here. Come here, Poochie. Get over here. As if that wasn't enough, I then built a prison guard tower so I can get a bird's eye view of Doggo and make sure he doesn't try to escape. Hello, vile fiend. Next hub upgrade, logistics, so I can get conveyor splitters, mergers, and elevators. I shipped that off, and once again, wasted no time in upgrading my factory. Lunch. What do these do? Well, the splitters split, the mergers merge, and the elevators elevate.
Well, no
Then I decided to finish off tier 1 with the field research upgrade, which demanded that I start manufacturing my most hated starter resource in the game, the screws. I firmly placed my left finger on the crafting table and vigorously hammered away to craft several assorted screws. I then decided it was time for a quick coffee break while I waited for the freighter to return. Once it did, I fulfilled this hub upgrade, which gives me access to the MAM, also known as the Molecular Analysis Machine. I then constructed the MAM. The MAM allows us to take new and rare resources that we collect whilst we explore this world and process them to unlock new upgrades, including personal equipment and new manufactured parts. I utilized the MAM to research the bushy-tailed bit remains, which can help us unlock medicinal inhalers to restore our health, and our blue sluggy boys to unlock power shards, which are not so important now, but will be super important later on as they can completely overhaul our factories. Yes, all very exciting stuff, but I decided it was time to manufacture more screws. So that I can unlock the ability to scan for sluggy boys in the MAM. Speaking of which, I needed an object scanner, so I built more screws so I can build the scanner in the equipment workshop. This device here will allow me to scan for the aforementioned power slugs, as well as foodstuffs and other oddities. It won't see much action now, but it will greatly help with future exploration. The game then reminded me that I've been sitting on my ass for too long. I've been playing for 2 hours, oh no. Behold, the MAM, nicely decorated with our recently researched spoils. I then analyzed some pale berries, and the bacon-looking mushroom I collected early on in my playthrough, in the MAM. And then last but not least, I analyzed the Caterium in the MAM, which yielded nothing useful at the moment. Then I handcrafted a buttload of copper wire because my current factory is super slow. I now have the resources I needed to construct the space elevator. I then constructed the space elevator and stood in awe of its beauty. Behold! A true beacon of unchecked rampant capitalism on an intergalactic scale. So, what does the space elevator do? I'll let Ada take this one.
The space elevator will now automatically connect with the Project Assembly orbital platform. Project Assembly is divided into phases, each of which require the delivery of project parts, such as smart plating, via the space elevator. Subsequent phases unlock access to new tiers with more advanced technologies to construct, automate, explore, and exploit. It is time to be honest. This project is part of the Save the Day program, the largest united undertaking in human history, destined to save us all. Earth is in peril and only Fix-It pioneers offer hope for survival. Fix-It is counting on you. Humanity is counting on you. Do not let Fix-It down.
Okay, cool, save humanity and all that, whatever. What does this mean for us? Well, basically, we need to construct factories to manufacture more advanced resources. We use these resources to accomplish 2 primary tasks. Task 1 is to unlock upgrades in the hub, which will subsequently unlock new buildings and player upgrades, which will allow us to construct more advanced resources. However, we're currently limited to how much we can unlock in the hub, as we need to unlock more tiers. Currently, we only have tiers 1 and 2 unlocked. So how do we unlock the rest? Well, that's where task numero dos comes in. We use those manufactured resources to construct special space elevator project parts to complete project phases. After we complete a phase, more tiers will unlock. As we progress through the game, these manufactured resources will get more and more complex, and will get more difficult to construct. In short, we complete hub upgrades so we can manufacture more space elevator parts, so we can complete project phases, so we can unlock more upgrade tiers in the hub, so we can complete hub upgrades, and blah blah blah. You get the point. So what are we going to do about this next? Play some more Packer Deluxe, of course. Oh, no, oh! And victory! Level 1 of Packer Deluxe. 3 stars. I actually got into the habit of starting and ending each play session with Packer Deluxe with the goal of getting 3 stars on every level. Hopefully something cool happens when I accomplish this. So I ended one session to stop and make a delicious steak, and then started the next play session with level 2 of Packer Deluxe. And I got really close to getting a back-to-back win, but that's okay, Packer Deluxe would have to wait. Because I ever so enthusiastically declared to expand my factory. We pretty much just have to start expanding our factory. This is a factory game. I picked out a location to place a new factory, but had a little trouble clearing out the local fauna. Please, stop running! For this new factory, I want to place down a lot of foundations, which needs a lot of concrete, so I dropped an additional concrete line to speed up production. The space elevator was in the way of the location that I surveyed for my new factory, so I deleted it and moved it, whilst also insulting some local fauna in the process. Yo, why is this jerk-off gotta be right there? There, we'll put it right here. It'll be fine here. I checked in on Doggo with a ridiculously long name, and he gifted me a stack of cooling systems. How are you doing, my little prisoner? You have cooling systems? This is awesome, because it's a late game resource, and it would come in super handy later on. I said goodbye to Doggo, you stay inside forever, and got to work on laying down the foundation for my new factory. Zoop? Yes. And then, screws. Followed by hub upgrade. And then, more screws!
To increase inventory size.
So I can build the chainsaw. And then I made some biofuel for the chainsaw. And then the power went out, so I fixed that. And then I utilized the chainsaw. This bad boy can help us accelerate planetary deforestation at an, acceptable rate? The chainsaw can allow us to cut down trees, and it also has an area of effect, so instead of having to handpick leaves one by one, we can clear out large swaths of foliage with one foul swipe. It does need a fuel source to operate it, hence why I crafted the biofuel, and most importantly, it allows us to collect large amounts of biomass, which will help us power our first starter power plant. I dropped down some more foundations and started laying out some constructors, which would be the starting point of the production line for our biomass generator power plant. I then placed down 18 biomass generators, an arbitrary number chosen merely for convenience. I hooked everything up with conveyors and power lines and dumped in the leaves and woods into the storage containers. And behold, biofuel. This production line converts raw leaves and wood into potent biomass, and then additional constructors turn that biomass into even more potent biofuel. That one doesn't count! This biofuel lasts a lot longer than just dumping leaves or wood directly into a biomass burner. You get a lot more bang for your buck, so it's absolutely worth it to build a setup like this in the meantime, while we wait to unlock more advanced forms of power production. Unlike the burners on the hub that produce only 20 megawatts of power each of these full-size biomass burners produce 30 megawatts of power each. With 18 burners at a rate of 30 megawatts, this setup produces 540 megawatts of power, for a grand total of 580 megawatts on my grid. Or, at least it should. But it doesn't. Why? Oh, I forgot to connect the power line. There we go. Next up, I utilized these 2 limestone nodes here to set up a new concrete factory. One node is pure rarity, and one node is normal rarity. Well, you may say, Toaster, what the hell are you talking about? Well, the rarity of a node limits us to how many resources per minute we can extract from it. A normal node is, well, normal. there's no modifier to its resource extraction rate. A pure node has a 2 times modifier to its extraction rate. It produces double the amount of a normal resource node. And the disgusting, vile, undesirable impure node has a 0.5 times rate, so half the amount of a normal node. So stumbling across and working with pure nodes is highly desirable as we progress further into the game. And remember, here at Fix-It, we like more. For our starter base, I won't go too in-depth into this concept, but once we start building proper factories, then I'll break it down a bit more. Just note that for now, I'm taking into consideration the total maximum resource extraction rate from these nodes, and using it to plan my layout to maximize the resource output on these simple factories. After getting my proper concrete factory up and running, I did a quick foliage run, and hammered out more screws. And then expanded my factory to accommodate the additional iron nodes over yonder. I then laid out a bunch of smelters and constructors, way more than I needed, not only to help produce the simple iron products that I needed now, but also to prepare for the near future when I needed to expand and manufacture more advanced parts. This constructor over here? Yeah, screws. After connecting these constructors over here to the grid, I was now successfully stockpiling iron plates, iron rods, and screws. Photosynthesis. Last but not least, I needed to secure our copper-based products, so I quickly established a production line to stockpile copper wire and cables. I dragged a conveyor belt from our only copper resource node to the new production line, and that essentially completed the first step in finishing our more refined and neat-looking starter factory. I decided to slide my way on over to the hub and celebrate by completing the Resource Sync free bonus program. It wasn't free. And now that my starter factory is complete, it's time for a quick move. I then deleted the hub. I then replaced the hub. Photosynthesis. I decorated my little safe space with some important structures, including the Awesome Shop, which is a structure that we got from the bonus program hub upgrade. Now you may say, Toaster, what is awesome? Hit it, Ada.
Milestone reached. You have been given access to the anti-waste effort for stress testing of materials on Exoplanet's bonus program, also known as Awesome. Your awesome input allows Fix-It to comprehend our amazing universe more clearly. In appreciation of this, we have generously set up an internal, closed economy with exclusive rewards and currency. Directing parts of varying quantity and complexity into the Awesome Resource Sink will grant Fix-It coupons. These coupons can be redeemed in the Awesome Shop for highly desirable items such as new foundations, walls, factory attachments, cosmetics, parts, and more. Next time you have additional resources, just remember to go that extra kilometer. Go awesome.
Yeah, what she said. In addition to the Awesome Shop, we got the Awesome Sink. In short, we dump resources into the Awesome Sink, we get proprietary Fix-It scripts that we can then spend in the Fix-It proprietary Awesome Shop to purchase Fix-It proprietary goods. Hi, don't you just love corporatism? Such goods include consumables, decorations, and even a boombox with music. I added Goat Simulator soundtrack to my cart because it's free. Goat music boombox, dude. It's free. I guess I'll check out later. What's next? Well, it's time to say goodbye to the tutorial factory. Thou hast served me well. Oh, it's too much. I can't watch. So, why delete the tutorial factory? Because it's useless, and it's taking up space. I bring up this point because even the new starter factory that we just built is also, one day, going to be rendered useless, and will also eventually be dismantled. Such is life. We grow up and we move on. So this starter factory is not meant to be perfect or look pretty. For now, it just needs to work. Just like how the tutorial factory served us previously. We've almost finished moving our old home to our new one. All we need to do is bring over Doggo, who ever so graciously gifted me some alien guts. You brought me spitter remains, which I then researched in The Man. Prison Tower goes up, Pioneer goes down. I laid out some more foundations so I can make more space to accommodate the space elevator, and I carefully placed down the space elevator for the last time. Witness it, once again, in all its glory. And then I realized it was off-center from the hub, so I deleted it and placed it down again for the last time. Witness! I went back to the Awesome Shop and secured my very own copy of the Goat Simulator soundtrack.
In ancient times, humans would occasionally pretend to be goats while listening to the music recorded on this tape. It was considered high culture, the likes of which humanity might never see again.
The last structure that I will be placing in the starter base for this video is the Awesome Sink. This structure here will allow us to dump resources into it in exchange for those delicious Fix-It coupons I mentioned earlier. Each sinkable resource in the game is assigned a certain number of points. Every time you sink a resource, those points are put towards unlocking the next coupon in the Awesome Sink. Each time you earn a coupon, the next subsequent coupon costs more points to unlock, and this increases exponentially, meaning that the more coupons you earn, the harder and harder it gets to unlock more coupons. So eventually, you're going to have to dump more valuable and rarer late game resources into the sink to have any chance at unlocking coupons. There's also DNA points now as well, and they work in a similar way. But instead of any random resource, this calls specifically for DNA capsules. We can use the remains dropped from fallen mobs to create DNA capsules, which we can then sink to also help unlock coupons. By the way, remember those cooling systems Doggo brought us earlier? That rare late game resource that Doggo just found randomly discarded and scrolled about by another careless pioneer? That's no doubt worth a bunch of points? Yeah, let's go sink those.
Holy Jesus.
Oh man, oh look at that, that is insane. Lizard Doggo with unusually long name. You are an absolute beast. Thank you so much, Doggo, with atrociously long name, who I definitely do not neglect. Now you may say, Toaster, why is any of this important? Well, you see, we can spend Fix-It coupons in the Awesome Shop, and the Awesome Shop has all the awesome. We need these coupons to start purchasing new walls and foundations, and doors and gates and pillars and ladders and walkways and fences and billboards and signs, and decals and cables and glass and so much more. We need these so we can build big, beautiful factories. And personally, I would really like to have as much of these decorations at my disposal before I start building my first major permanent factory. That's it really, just purely cosmetics. I went on a shopping spree in the Awesome Shop and spent all of my coupons on a bunch of decorations that I thought I might need in the near future. And I also got myself a QC Fix-It souvenir coffee cup in the process.
Do not purchase unauthorized Fix-It coffee cups. They have been known to explode and attract wasps. Unauthorized Fix-It coffee cups lower your attractiveness to your preferred gender and/or your sense of well-being if you have no gender attraction or preference.
Because I really wanted to see if you could use the coffee cup to interact with the coffee machine inside the hub, and was incredibly disappointed when I discovered that you can't. Let's not forget one more Packer Deluxe run to finish off this session. Which I failed. And then I cheated and slipped in another quick run, which I failed again. Okay, deserved, I guess. Creating a series like this is not easy, and the whole creative process takes a super long time. So if you want to see more of this, then let me know by liking or disliking the video, subscribing, and all that good stuff. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Toaster. Peace out. But we're not peacing out with one last check-in on Doggo with idiotically long alias. And what? Please read before playing. A very small percentage of... Oh. Ugh.